you know, you might have some sort of illness in some sort of area or something like that, and that actually makes you more encouraged or more interested in looking, how can I actually fix that for myself? Because we actually can fix that with nutrition. I think we look to pharmacology and pharmaceutical drugs to fix problems, but we can actually just look at food as the first intervention rather than looking at pharmaceutical drugs.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Drinks on Me, the show where we sit back and unravel the beauty of the hospitality industry. And today I've got a special guest in, Ben Rositani. Thanks for being here, Benny.
No worries,
appreciate it,
man. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great having you here. So Ben is the part owner of Holy Toast in Cheltenham, a pretty brand new cafe and toasty shop. And I thought I'd get him in. He's one of my old friends, one of my best friends, and we always manage to have a great chat. So yeah, I'm keen for it. So today we're going to be making a chili mojito mocktail. Ben doesn't drink alcohol that much, so I thought that I'd appreciate that and not put alcohol in it.
Yep.
So first things first though, I want you to pause the video, get yourself comfortable, pour yourself a drink, sit down, relax, and we'll get to making the cocktail. Alright, now that you've paused the video, you've gotten yourself comfortable, you've got a drink in hand, it's time to make the cocktail. So as said before, we're making a chili mojito mocktail. Start by grabbing the glasses. Here you go, Ben. Grab a glass. I'm gonna get you some mint and some chili. All right, so we're gonna grab 8 to 10 leaves off this and put it at the bottom of the glass.
Yep.
Let's do that together. Rip some out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't really matter how much you put in.
Yeah.
The more the better. The more the better.
More the mintier.
Yeah, I like it like that. Mint actually is one of my favourite smells in the world. One of my favourite smells in the world. So now that we've got the mint going, it's time to put a bit of chili in there. So we've got some pre-sliced chilies in here. I'm going to put about 3 or 4 in. You can put more if you want to have a bit more of a kick, but I'm going to start with 4. So
4's probably mild.
4. I reckon 4. Yeah, I'd say mild.
Yeah.
I'd say mild. 1, 2, 3.
I'll go to 5.
You go 5, alright, spice it up. Spice it up. Now, after we've done that, it's time to put some limes in it. We get 3 limes each.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Now, just a little bit of a side note. The reason I chose to make you this cocktail today is because I feel like you've got one of the most refreshing personalities that I've ever kind of come across, and I really appreciate your input to every conversation we have and the way that you inspire me. And I thought that this being one of the most refreshing cocktails known to man, that it would suit you. And also the chili adds a little bit of flavour, as you do with all your stuff. You add a little bit of flavour to it, and you've always got something to add to the conversation. So I just thought I'd add a bit of chili in there for fun.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. So now we get to pouring. Now I'll start and I'll pass this over. We're going to put 15 mils of agave. So 15 mils is just that center line in the middle there. You'll see. Just to there. So if you want to put some of that in. Beautiful. Pour in. I'll put that back. We can start muddling. So we're going to muddle. Muddling just mixes the ingredients, gets the flavors out of the ingredients so far. I'm just going to press in no specific way, in no specific order. Beautiful. If you want to go have a go at that. Oh, that's where you get the fucking flavour from.
I wonder what's harder, coffee or making cocktails?
I reckon,
What do you reckon?
I don't know, I feel like coffee, once you get the hang of, you can do all the time.
Yeah.
But
There's probably more variables for this.
yeah, there's more variables,
Yeah.
there's more options.
Yeah.
But I feel like to perfect a cocktail versus perfecting a coffee, I reckon it'd be harder to perfect a coffee for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Now that we've got that in there anyways, it's time to move on to a bit of ice. I'll put it in there for you. Put the ice in there. Boom, boom, boom. Crack a can open. Bundaberg ginger beer, nothing better. Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
Pour in.
It's gonna be perfect.
The top.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I reckon
Are we
that's
leaving
perfect.
room? It is.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, we'll get a little bit of straw going. Take that, mix it around a bit, get the flavours blending. Now this is perfect for some of this cocktail. This is actually one of the most refreshing cocktails that I could ever make. I could drink this every day.
It looks fantastic.
Oh, it's gonna
really
taste.
like it.
It's gonna taste fantastic.
And the colours of the green, the red, like the light green.
It's dope, isn't it? So now it's time for the crushed ice on top. Good little scoop. Doesn't matter if you get a mess everywhere. You can hold your hand around there to keep it. Get that in there. A bit of crushed ice. Make it higher. The higher, the hotter. That's what I say.
Higher the hotter.
Yeah, it just looks sexy when you put a garnish
100%.
high. That's the way.
It's funny how you find like your little knacks like of making something.
Yeah, it is.
Making a bit of a mess here, but
No, that's good.
Snow cone.
Fuck that off
do it.
over there. Now we're slapping the mint, so I'm slapping the mint and I'm just gonna put it in here. There's a little bit of a garnish there. You wanna slap the mint as well. Slapping the mint just brings out more flavor. Breaks
Slapping
open.
it?
Yeah,
Really?
So you grab it like this.
Okay.
Slap it. That's it, bring the flavors out. Shove her in nice.
Like it.
There we go. Straw down the back of the garnish. Hide that straw down the back of the garnish. And now if you want to grab that bitters over there, open her up
Yeah.
and just put a couple dashes on top. Nice. Bang, bang, bang. Boom. That is your chili mojito mocktail.
Wow.
Let's have a
That is a
taste. Let's have a
killer.
taste, brother.
Killer drink. We're gonna spit that everywhere.
Does the taste good, Floor?
It's really good. It's really good. The chili comes through.
Yeah, it does.
I would have thought that it wouldn't, but it does.
We can put more chili
really
in it
good.
after as well. So guys, if you want to make it at home, you can. If you want to come in and buy it and have it at Hawker Bar, we'll have it on tap. We'll have it not on tap. We'll be making it here at Hawker Bar for the next week after the video is released. So come on, come try it.
That is
And
very good.
Yeah, it's time to have the
Very
chat.
good.
So thanks, Benny. Let's get to it.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, Benny. Here for the conversation, man. How you been?
I've been really good. I've been good. Yeah, learning lots. Actually just on the tail end of a good restful day. Today's my day off, so yeah, been good, rested, ready for tomorrow,
Yep.
ready to get into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. And so you're obviously from Holy Toast, and you know, for people who don't know, do you want to tell us a bit about Holy Toast and what you guys do there?
Yeah. So Holy Toast is a cafe. We do toasties and coffee. We, I guess, are focused mainly on those things and keeping it simple, but doing that well. But yeah, we're focused on, I guess, quality ingredients. As a lot of our ingredients, we source a lot of good quality meats, a lot of good quality fruit and veg that we kind of assemble the sandwiches with. We've got 9 on the menu at the moment, which is really cool. We just added one. It's the egg and bacon. So
The egg and bacon, the classic.
the classic.
Hell yeah.
Which has been highly requested by many tradies. So yeah, just
Is that one of your biggest like kind of commodities, the tradies around the area? Because I know there's a lot of works going on in Chelt currently. So
yeah.
is there a lot of tradies coming through, or?
I think the roadworks have been huge, just on that strip at Charman Road. So they kind of like bleed over and come into Station Road, and it's been cool, I guess, you know, meeting them and yeah, and the tradies from across the road too, as there's infrastructure being built recently in Chelt. So
Dope.
yeah.
Dope. What are the top sellers there? What are the top selling sandwiches?
Top selling sandwiches, the HCT, which is a ham, cheese, tomato, which you can kind of, I guess, you know, estimate that that's going to be a top seller because you can make that one at home, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think, yeah, you know it's good.
I find that interesting though. Like you'd think that people would come out and want to experiment and try something new, or you know, get something that they can't just make at home. It's so interesting to me that, you know, probably the most
I guess, basic or generic sandwich that you have is the top seller. Because I love the slow cook that you do, the Greek freak. I
yeah,
love the Italian stallion. I love those two.
Yeah.
They're top notch sandwiches, and it just baffles me that the ham cheese tomato is the top seller. I guess it's probably different to a classic ham cheese tomato. It's probably not the same as most.
Yeah. I think, well, when you go out to a restaurant, it's almost, because I know I've been in this situation, you want to try something different, but you know what's good. You're like, oh, I know that's going to be a safe option. I know that's going to be good. It's going to taste good. If I want something risky, I might not like the meal. But yeah, thanks, Tom. They are good toasties.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know, and you said you're all about quality ingredients. How did the passion for quality ingredients? I mean, you're young, man. You're 22. You're 22, and generally, a lot of young people don't really have that mindset about quality ingredients and don't feel like it's an important thing. So, what kind of happened in your life to make it, an important thing for you? Why is it important to Ben?
Yeah, really good question. I think the people who I've met along the way have influenced me in a way where I've been blessed enough to I guess, be on a path of learning how important the nutrients that we consume are, and that things like avoiding toxic foods is huge, and that we're not, I wouldn't say we're part of a broken food system, but there's many foods out there, many corporations and companies that I guess have a lack of information or a lack of study, and obviously are motivated by profit. So as a result, the consumers are consuming low quality food, and that can be obviously damaging for humanity. But I think just the people that I've met along the way, they've been lovely enough to pass over the knowledge. And
is there anyone specifically that comes to mind when you think about who's been a great informant for you? I suppose informant's a good word. It's kind of it is general knowledge, but it's not widespread. So I guess you do need that informant or someone who does their research or understands
100%.
it to be able to really push it against you. And is there anyone in your life that you think that you could attribute it to?
Yeah, like mates, lots of mates who have explored that, that are much older and have kind of found their way of establishing a diet that works for them. But my brothers, I guess with different things that life throws at you, you might have some sort of illness in some sort of area or something like that, and that actually makes you more encouraged or more interested in looking, how can I actually fix that for myself? Because we actually can fix that with nutrition. I think we look to pharmacology and pharmaceutical drugs to fix problems, but we can actually just look at food as the first intervention rather than looking at pharmaceutical drugs. So mates and my brother, people at gym, constantly being around the gym environment, you tend to meet lots of people who are like-minded, and sitting in the sauna and having conversations with people.
Your balls out, or are you a sauna guy without the balls out?
Well, there is a sign on the gym on the sauna door that says, be courteous, wear appropriate attire. So
Okay.
I think there might have been a few people that kind of ruined that for everyone.
I mean, you'd look good in a jock strap, don't worry. No, don't worry about that. I'm not serious, but you would.
Thanks, Tom.
So,
back at you.
I don't know about that. Sourcing ingredients. It's one thing to care about it, but then it's another thing to actually finish it off and actually source the ingredients and actually implement it into the business. And I think that's a really hard part. So what have you done, or how have you found these groups, these communities, these areas where you have found these ingredients from? How do you find these people?
That's really cool. I think we started with, when we opened up, we kind of looked at the places, the suppliers nearby. So butchers nearby, fruit and veg nearby, but also we've kind of integrated some supplements and stuff into our menu that you can have, like protein powders or collagen.
That's dope. That should be done more.
Yeah, and stuff like that, because that's something that Jake and I really believe in. And so Jake's had a few connections, which is my brother who I'm part owner with, and he's had some connections in the food in that kind of like supplement industry that we use their products, and
Cool.
They've provided so much value for Jake personally, and we know that the actual owners of the companies on a personal level, and we trust them, and the butchers too.
Where do you go for the butcher?
We go for the butcher, so we've got two. We've got Mackenzie Smith's, which is in Cheltenham. It's on Charman Road.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, they
Cool.
do great deli meats like ham and salami and stuff like that. And then they've got, your mince meat. And then we also use Morris Meats, which is in Mentone. He's been great. Paul is the owner. He's been fantastic. And then Tasman Meats as well. So Tasman Meats, we source different. We've kind of found what I guess provides the best aesthetic as well of once we cook things.
Yep.
And then also
That's something to balance in as well.
yeah, what tastes good, and then also what is in terms of quality as well. So
It's hard to balance because,
got all these things.
when you go local and when you go to the smaller, more independent suppliers, the costs go up.
100%.
So the costs go up, and it's really hard to balance the costs and the impact.
yeah,
So have you found that's a struggle? I mean, how have you? I mean, what I really want to get from this is that how do you educate and how do you like kind of prove your quality? How do you prove that to people?
I think by starting up conversations. I think Jake and I being there constantly, especially in the beginning, just speaking to customers and people asking questions, because we actually state on our menu that it's grass-fed meats.
Yep.
And stuff like that. People ask all the time, and because we kind of have these things on our menu, people will be like, oh, what's bone broth, or what's lion's mane, what's collagen?
You got lion's mane.
We got lion's
That's
mane that you
dope.
can add into your coffee. So yeah, just things like that, starting conversations. But I think when you're passionate about something, that's always going to come off. It's always going to translate.
One way or another, if it's at the front of your mind, it'll come out, and it'll just happen naturally. Naturally, I'm sure. As you said, people ask, but also when you're constantly thinking about it, it finds its way into conversation.
Totally. Yep.
Has anyone
Agree.
kind of do you get many people that are actually interested in it, or do you get kind of people who are kind of half interested, or because that's the thing, you might be doing so much for the community or so much for what you're passionate about, but it might not relate, or it might not come out to the public that you actually feel in that way. So do you get much reciprocation from that?
It's a balance. Like it's been, we've got some people who could care less, like tradies. They couldn't really give a stuff if anything's organic. They couldn't give a stuff if anything's I'm just stereotyping.
Yeah, stereotyping totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But and then you do have some people that do take an interest. But I think believing in something so much to kind of, I guess, know, and it's the knowing and the believing that at the end of it, it's going to translate to people, and people are going to appreciate in the end what they're getting. And just sticking to your guns, and being confident that
Backing yourself.
if people don't care, then that's fine. But for the people that do, hopefully that we can educate them in a way that they can potentially go home and make some lifestyle changes on their table, and then potentially that might spread to guests at their house, and then they might recommend us or something like that. I haven't actually thought that far, but
It's cool.
That's how things go, and
It's a butterfly effect, baby.
Believing in that for sure.
Totally. I mean, so yeah, I've been multiple times to the restaurant, and I'm not necessarily personally massive on like grass fed or what, but I've heard from a lot of people in the industry that the wave is coming. There's a wave coming, and it's building up at the moment, where people are getting passionate about it, people are understanding it, and I think the wave will crash soon enough, and it'll turn into a world where if you don't source locally or you don't use quality ingredients, people are going to know. And I think that being ahead of that ball game is a great place to be, and you should be proud about that because it's not like you've done that necessarily for business, but you've done it for what you want to do, and I think it's something to be proud of for sure.
Thanks, Tommy. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
I've noticed you haven't had any drink, mate. I hope it tastes all right.
I know.
Get a big gulp into you, mate.
Yeah, let's do it. The spice has been kind of fermenting in there.
Yeah, I know. It gets the back of your throat.
Yeah, it
tickles.
does. It's good though.
I'm holding in the coughs. So
It's a really good thing.
Benny and I have been best mates for years. We've even tried to start our own podcast at one point, The Wavelength, and I think that
It'll happen in due time.
yeah, it'll happen. There'll be multiple times where we work together for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But
yeah.
Ben is someone who cares about other people more than he cares about himself a lot of the time, and you are one of the most refreshing people to be around, and everyone loves having you around, and I don't think there's enough of you to go around. So yeah, I just wanted to take that moment and just say thank you for being a great person. I hope that everyone in the community that you've impacted understands that as well as I do, because you and your family are all great people. It's great. Even Jake, growing up with Jake and I've worked with you and Jake in the past. You used to work here actually. You used to work here when you were opening the restaurant or getting it all going, the venue. You were working here 3 or 4 times a week and getting some coin in.
Absolutely. This venue helped me so much at Holy Toast. Believe it or not, it's been a huge, part of my journey and hospitality journey where I'd never really worked at a venue this fast and this many people, and it was quick, and the people that you dealt with, but also work with as well. It just, the top-notch people like you guys, and you taught me so much. You've been huge
Thanks, Benny.
on leadership for me, Tommy, and how you work with your guys, and understanding what's required to be done, and definitely
totally
you've had a huge influence on how where I'm at with Holy Toast. So.
I mean, you go back 3 years ago, you were doing the audio engineering. How did you kind of fall into this world? How did this world kind of attract you?
Yeah, I think with audio and music, you kind of that was a hobby, and I needed sort of a part-time gig, and the work life with the study, they combined really well. And because you've got night, mostly night work, working in hospitality, and then study throughout the day, you've got the classes throughout the day. It just worked well together, and I think the interaction between the people, for people, the interaction with people, was what I like, understanding people, and talking to people, and just understanding that people are really interesting when people aren't strange anymore when you meet them.
No, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. People aren't strange after you meet them.
Yeah, they're not strangers anymore.
They're not strangers. That's cool, man. That's cool. And it's been great seeing you come through. It's been great seeing you fall into this, because for a long time there, I remember that this wasn't at the front of your mind. And going back onto the question again, how did it come to you? How did the Holy Toast actually fall into your hands?
Yeah. Holy Toast. So
your family, I understand, it was like in the family.
Yeah. So basically 12 months ago, probably a bit more, probably like 18 months ago, Mum and I started actually talking about it. So back probably 25 years ago, nearly, I think 25 years ago.
Before we were around. Before we were even a speckle in the mind.
100%. So Mum and Dad have had a cafe in that very building. So Mum and Dad, I don't know when they actually got the building, but it was obviously before the cafe when they started. So they got the building, and then they've had different tenants in there, and both Mum and Dad have had some experience in the hospitality industry. Like Dad's been with had experience in Taco Bill. He had a Taco Bill, and then
he had a Taco Bill.
Yeah, and
that's
then
dope.
They had a cafe down in Sandy. So they've both been really good in that regard, in actually kind of laying some foundation. And then, but Dad being a tradie as well, he kind of did up the whole, renos and refurbished basically the whole interior. So, which has been a huge blessing as well. So,
Totally.
and then basically 18 months ago, Mum and I started like stimulating the idea, talking over it, and then things started rolling. We kind of like went back and were like, no, nah.
Bit toey.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Mum was like, let's do it. I was like, I'm in.
Hell
Jakey
yeah.
was like, I'm in.
Hell yeah.
And
Dad was
here
like,
we
oh,
are.
I guess I'm in.
well, Dad, because he's still doing his heating and aircon, he's like, he does that, but he's actually been working on a Monday, so that allows me, that kind of like releases me in having a day off, and Dad kind of comes in and he kind of pens in that day.
I really actually, whilst you mentioned it, I really think it's cool the way you spend your time off. I've mentioned it in previous episodes, but I think, having time off and learning to be perfect or learning to enjoy doing nothing is really hard for our minds. Generally in the industry, we're just on. It's never stopping. Even when the shop's closed, it just never stops. So I think it's really cool that you go out and do things like, for instance, tell us about your day today. So you've had the day off today. It's a Monday. You've had the day off, and just tell us a bit about what you do on the day off.
Yeah. So it kind of begins with me just, I guess, having a sleep in, because
What's a sleep in to you?
a sleep in to me today was 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was that's a sleep in. But I think when you develop a lifestyle and a routine that's based around your work, and our work is in the morning, it starts in the morning and then finishes at about lunch, 3 p.m., 2:30. So if you don't wake up and run the business, no one's going to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to be accountable and responsible. So I think, you kind of on a Monday, which is my day off, I'm up, I'm ready to go, and like pretty early. So just because it's natural for me now.
So you get up and then you go for a walk, or?
I basically have nothing. I try and have nothing planned unless it's something that's going to be super relaxing.
Yeah.
Like I've been recently going up to like the hot springs, Peninsula Hot Springs, and relaxing there. But today it was like no schedule at all.
We have to go. I've never been.
Got to go.
Yeah.
We got to go. You got to experience it by yourself, but you've also got to experience it with someone.
By
too.
yourself, it's not often you hear people going to the hot springs.
Yeah. Both. You got to do both.
Okay. All right.
Because they're both different experiences, but they're good. They're both really good when you get to share it with someone.
Yeah.
So, and then today was just, woke up, went to gym, and then came back and headed for Warrandyte. So Warrandyte, there's a beautiful lake there. Went and saw a mate. My mate also lives there. So I went and saw him and took my dog, went for a walk along the Warrandyte River, and came back and
just relax, dude. You just relax.
So
it recharges the battery. It
does.
The battery.
It does. And there's a it's actually a Jewish tradition of from Mondays to, because their week starts actually with their Sabbath. So their week starts not on the work day, but actually on the Sabbath. So you start your week with rest, and then you go into the week. So
you ease into it.
You ease into it. So actually looking at it from like, this is the week started, but I'm beginning it with rest, and then following on from there.
That's beautiful. I guess that is one of the beauties of the hospital industry. You might be working Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays generally in a lot of venues, but you got that Monday, Tuesday where not much is happening. You don't have the pressure of, I need to go out because you can't go out.
Yeah.
Or I need to do this and that. But a lot of the time you're actually forced into relaxing. You're actually forced into doing nothing because everyone else might be at work and nothing's open. It's just you're just kind of forced into doing it. So that's a blessing in disguise for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, I did want to really talk about the impact on the business. Sourcing local products.
Yeah.
I mean, we did touch on it, but I really want to kind of dive a bit deeper on it. So, when you source these ingredients, how do you balance it? How do you balance the cost with how much it's giving? Do you feel like it gives back as much as you give it? Do you feel like, when you pay more money to get these ingredients that you're feeling it come back into the pocket from the consumer?
Good question. I think you kind of obviously look at something as simple as actually just looking at the bank account, and if the bank account is going up, then obviously that's a clear indicator. And then it's not going to. I'm not saying that it's like skyrocketing and it's blowing up, but it's it's a clear indicator that you're actually making money and what you're doing is working, and what you're believing in and sticking to your guns is coming back. So I think there is a balance. There definitely is a balance. You have to look at the quality of ingredients, look at look at your different suppliers. Understand that they're good quality ingredients. They're offering a good quality service as well, and then not negotiating, but like seeing prices and doing your research. Not being too quick to jump into one, but also looking at it from a way as well to like who have you got in your friendship? Who do you know where you can source meat from, vegetables from, who you know and can trust. So
we've had this conversation before, and keeping, I guess, look, in the most humble and the most humble way, keeping your money close, say buying local, supporting other locals. Not only does it feel good to do, not only is it healthy and good for the businesses around you, but also it helps spread your name through these businesses, as you said before. So many people that go to the butcher go, oh, what can I do with this meat? And then you go, and they might say, oh, down at Holy Toast around that corner, they make a really nice like Greek freak sandwich out of it, So it also gets the word going around with that. And I think that's a very powerful thing to be doing, is keeping your money semi-close to you and close to the area.
Totally. It's always going to come back. I believe in that. I believe in what you put in, you're going to get out. I do believe that. So yeah.
Good. And I mean, I think we've touched on everything that I really wanted to touch on. But moving forward for Holy Toast, is there anything that you're kind of excited? I mean, it's about to hit summer. The days are going to be hotter. So what's coming for Holy Toast?
We're going to integrate some sandwiches and some rolls,
some cold sandwiches.
Some cold sandwiches. So still maintaining our toasties and having our toasties on the menu, but also offering cold sandwiches and stuff like that. So that'll just, I guess, provide people with more options, because at the end of the day, 9 toasties on the menu compared to most places with a full sit-down menu is quite a difference. It's quite a difference. So I think if we can start getting our chef hats on, start cooking up, and start making some really cool sandwiches, because that's how our 9 toasties came. It was from both Jake and I.
So the Italian style in your dad, it's like a homemade recipe.
The dad's Italian stallion. So dad made the Italian stallion, and that recipe is a recipe from his dad, who's Italian. So so the Napoli sauce is a sauce that's been passed down through generations.
The homemade Napoli sauce.
Homemade Napoli sauce. So nothing. There's no kind of mix of garlic in a bottle with passata.
That's a big thing, dude. You've got fresh ingredients all the way through. Everything
is cooked.
That's great. So, I mean, I hope that the people who are listening really have kind of had a shift in mindset, and I hope you understand the power of good quality food, and understand how Holy Toast is making an impact on the community, and that it is coming, and that the wave is about to crash, where everywhere and everything is going to be locally sourced and high quality ingredients, because it's just going to become the standard. So you should be proud of yourself again. That you're getting ahead of the ball with that. Benny,
Thanks, Tommy.
thanks for coming in, mate. I know it's been a short but quick one.
Yeah.
And I think that people have heard what they want to. Go support him at Holy Toast in Cheltenham. You know, it's a beautiful place, and I'll be there in a couple of days. After talking about it all night, I'm definitely keen for a sandwich or two. You know, I get two sandwiches every time I come through.
You do.
Yeah, so I'll get one of them in me. Hey, cheers, Benny.
Mate,
Appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, Tommy.
Good on
Mate, thanks
you,
for
bud.
having me.
Hey,
It's been good.
anytime, guys. So if you want to try this cocktail next week, or in the week following the episode release, come down to Hawker Bar in Hyatt. Come get it. It's a mocktail. It's a chili mojito mocktail. Tastes like summer. It's beautiful. All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.